Let's talk about solving inequalities. First, we're going to go over some basics of inequalities, but here are some things to remember as we are solving these inequalities. If you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, that's going to switch the sign of your inequality. What that means is if you started off with something being greater than something else, and we divide by a negative number or multiply by a negative number, that's going to change it to now be less than that thing. When we're graphing inequalities, if you see these arrows meaning less than or greater than, strictly less than and strictly greater than, we're going to have an open circle on our graph. If we see the sign that says something like less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then we're going to have a closed circle on our graph. But again, let's just go over some of the basics of inequalities first. So here I've given you 4 number lines with some sort of inequality happening. We've got an open circle with our arrow pointing to the right, a closed circle with an arrow pointing to the left, open circle going to the left, and closed circle going to the right. We want to match each of these number lines to our different inequality signs. So as I was saying before, if you have an open circle, you're either going to use the strictly less than or strictly greater than sign. If you have a closed circle, less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So back to these graphs. This first one has an open circle, so we're either going to use strictly less than or strictly greater than. So now we need to pay attention to which direction our arrow is going. If our arrow is going to the right, that means our number is increasing, it's getting bigger. We are using all of these values that are greater than whatever value was at this open circle. That means here we're going to use the greater than sign. So some number. This next one has a closed circle and it's pointing to the left. So we're looking at all of the values that are smaller than this value. So here, since it's a closed circle, we're either going to use greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. But since it's going to the left, it's getting smaller, so we are getting less than or equal to our original value. Once again, we have an open circle, but this time it's getting smaller. We're going down. So this one's going to be strictly less than. And then we have an open circle going to the right, and obviously we are left with having greater than or equal to. Now let's apply some numbers to these concepts. If I said W is less than or equal to 6, then on my number line, say maybe here is 0 and here is 6. Since it's less than or equal to, that's telling me what type of circle I'm going to use, open or closed. That equal to there is saying I'm going to use a closed circle, and I want everything that is smaller than that value of 6. So from 6 we're going down, everything that's less than 6. So this is what the graph of W less than or equal to 6 would look like. If we have Z is less than negative 9, say maybe this time here's 0, and here's negative 9. It's strictly less than, not equal to, so I'm going to keep an open circle, and I want everything that is smaller than that negative 9. Now we've got X is greater than or equal to negative 5, so maybe here's 0, here's negative 5. That equal to tells me I'm going to use a closed circle. And now I want all of my X values to be bigger than negative 5. So from negative 5, we're going to increase our X values. Then finally, we have Y is greater than 0. Maybe this is 0. Strictly greater than, keeping an open circle. And the greater than part of it saying we need to increase our number, so we're going to go to the right. And that is how you graph different inequalities on a number line using one variable.